Good morning. It is 7:04 on a Friday morning. I wanted to go on just a little early, a minute early, just so we can send out the notifications that I'm on live. How's everybody doing this day, today, this week? We've made it to the end of another week. You know, the weather's been bipolar. 1 minute it's 80 degrees, next minute it's 30 degrees. So I just want you to be extra careful. Make sure that you're dressing appropriately so that you won't catch a cold. Make sure that if you have any sinus allergies, things like that, that you're doing all the precautionary things. I wonder if the people are coming to cut the grass today. That you're doing all the precautionary things. You know, you're taking your nasal spray, you're taking your medication, because it's important that you get ahead of it. Don't wait till you start feeling bad to then take your medication. Take it as a preventive way to make sure that you don't get a sinus infection or sinus headache, sinus infection, things like that. Today is a Freestyle Friday. Been coming kind of heavy for the last couple of weeks, emotionally, really challenging ourselves to grow. Thought today I'd come in a little light. I've allowed some questions to build up. I've allowed some comments to build up. And so we're just going to come in today, take a breath, settle your spirit. We're going to have more relaxing conversation today. And we're just going to walk through these together, because all week all month really, we've talked about becoming, about emotional maturity, about boundaries. We've talked about shifts to move you forward. And today we're going to take all of that and apply it to real life. So what I've done today is take some of the questions that I've had in my inbox, or questions that I get, chat, or whatever, and apply them to real life. Not just answer the questions, but then apply some of the information and knowledge that we've talked about for the last month to those situations. So this is going to help you with your relationships, your healing, your identity, your growth. Okay? So let's get into these questions because they are good. Number one. How do I know if I'm actually stuck or just uncomfortable with growth? And I think I talked about this the other day, but a lot of times we confuse discomfort with being stuck. We feel like, I just can't move forward. I don't know what's going on, but it's really that you're just the discomfort. You're like, I know what this weight gain feels like. I know what this responsibility feels like. I know what this dysfunctional relationship feels like. If I let that go, if I move into an area that I'm not familiar with, it becomes uncomfortable. It's scary. And so a lot of times you'll think, well, I'm stuck. I can't move. No, you can move. We can always make a decision to any given point. You can be going down a road and you can make a decision at any point to make a U-turn and turn around. Or you can make a decision to take a different path to continue forward. A lot of times when we feel like we're stuck, it's just that we really are ready to grow. And a lot of times when we feel stuck, we've abandoned ourselves. That feeling, I can't do no better. This is the best it's going to get. We've devalued ourselves. We've made ourselves feel like that I'm not worthy of the growth. I'm not worthy of the next step. So again, discomfort feels like when you're stretching into your growth. Stuck, that's what discomfort is. Stuck is fear. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to start this business. I'm afraid to walk boldly into my new season. Discomfort is I'm stretching into the new version of you. So ask yourself, when you feel like, am I frozen? Am I stuck? Or am I evolving? Am I frozen? And what's causing me to freeze? Am I frozen for the fear? Or am I frozen? Or am I stuck because I don't want to evolve? So if you're telling yourself the truth, setting boundaries, and getting rid of old patterns, you're not stuck. That's becoming. Question number 2. What do I do when my family doesn't like the person I'm dating / married to? Your family can have opinions. Everybody's got opinions. We say it all the time. Everybody's got an opinion. It's what you believe about your relationship and about yourself is key. When you know who you are, when you really know who you are, other people can have opinions about your life, but they can't dictate it. When you know who you are, you're comfortable enough to say, I can love that person and I respect what they're saying, but what they're saying has nothing to do with me. It is not your job or your role to get your family to approve of who you're dating. That's not your goal. Your goal is to get into a relationship with someone who not only brings out the best in you, but who's already working on their best version of themselves. Someone who you can connect to on an emotional, mental, spiritual, financial level. That you have shared interest. That you have the opportunities for growth. That I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said, well, I just want us to get on the same page. And I said, it's going to be difficult for y'all to get on the same page. Y'all not even in the same book. Y'all not even in the same genre. Y'all in different parts of the library. It's hard to get someone on the same page if you have different values and opinions. So if your family is not approving of them, while you can appreciate their opinion, and you can respect it, ask yourself, because maybe, just maybe, they can see something from a distance. Maybe they can see, because sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. But, they may have an insight that maybe you haven't considered. But that's where, that's where knowing yourself is key. When you know who you are, when you are comfortable in your own skin, you can allow for people's opinions, judgments, but it doesn't rattle who you are. So let them, and at the end of the day, you live with your choice, not your family. You live with it. So if your family doesn't approve or your family doesn't like them, that's on your family. You live with your choice. Question number 3, and I love this one. Why do my friends and family pull away when I start setting boundaries? Because boundaries expose their lack of them. I'm sorry.
Motion detected at ring doorbell at front door.
So when you stop overperforming, when you stop people pleasing, when you stop over explaining to people who have benefited from the old version of you get upset. So when you start setting boundaries are not only a way to respect yourself, it's also where you set the line to say, this is what I tolerate. And when people don't respect your boundaries, what they're saying is, one, I don't respect what you have, because I want the version of you that made me the priority. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I like the version of you that bent over backwards to make sure that I was good. Good morning, Miss Patricia Lloyd-Smith. Thank you for following me, and thank you for joining me today. She's a wonderful person. I love you, Miss Patricia. They get, when you're healing and you make boundaries, people who have none, and I said this in a post a couple of days ago. People who have no peace have no problem disturbing yours. People who are habitual boundary jumpers, they are perturbed because you have something that they lack. When you have the ability to go, no, you know what, this is where I stop and you get up, that perturbs them because they don't have that ability. So they're going to force, they're going to push. They want the version of you that allowed for them to lack. They want that version of you that allowed them to be the priority and make adjustments for them. They don't have the discipline to be able to set their own boundaries. So again, when you set boundaries, good morning, Anita. Y'all say hi to my auntie. When you are not able, when you set boundaries and people get upset and they stop talking to you, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing. It is their inability to maintain their own emotional intelligence. It's their inability to respect boundaries because they don't have any. And a lot of times I think some people are jealous because you can say no to a situation that they've been saying yes to all their lives. Question number 4, which is relevant to, particularly as we age and mature. How do I date without losing myself again? Your dating experience should come from your identity, not your loneliness. Let's say that again. All dating experiences should come from your identity, not your loneliness. If you're dating someone because you're lonely, you're already in a bad situation. You're already, because you're already coming from a place of lack. You're not coming from a place of.
Motion detected at ring doorbell at front door.
I need to figure out a way. If somebody knows how I can disconnect this while I'm on live so I won't get all these notices from Alexa, that would be beneficial. Drop it in the link. But you should date from clarity, not fear. You should date from fullness, not emptiness. And so when you are dating from that perspective, you're not going to want to lose yourself again. When you're dating, when you're full, again, when you know who you are, when you're comfortable in your own skin, you won't shrink or compromise. Now let me clarify that, because I know there's a lot of people that's confused about that. Shrinking or making clarity in your life isn't saying, oh, somebody's got to come in my life and they got to be 6'3", they got to be physically fit, they got to make 6 figures a year. That's cute if you do that. If you are in the best physical, emotional, mental shape in your life, if you're making 6 figures, if you got your own place, if you're not, you can't, you have to come from a point of clarity. You can't expect for somebody to bring to the table what you don't have. That's kind of sort of a personal pet peeve of mine. Well, he's got to drive a Jag. Girl, you riding the bus. Why has he got to have a Jag? You can't expect somebody to bring to the table what you don't have. That means you're eating off their table and not your own. That's how we end up in relationships where we lose ourselves. Come to the table, your best self. Come full. Come from clarity. Date from clarity. Date from fullness. Date because you're not lonely. You're not lonely. You're choosing. And that's another thing too. When you choose to date, that's a choice. Nobody forcing you. Nobody's at your door putting a gun to your head and saying, let's go out. If they are, then that's not a date. That's a kidnapping that you need to call the police. But when you choose to date and you choose to experience, that's a choice. In any given point, when it's a choice, you also set boundaries on it. So dating and losing yourself only happens when you don't know yourself, when you're empty, when you're coming from a place of lack and not from a place of knowledge and clarity. Whew. Question number 5. How do I stop carrying everybody else's emotions? Stop believing it's your job to make other people happy. Stop believing that taking care of other people's emotional emptiness is your job. It's not. It is everybody's individual responsibility to manage, take care of, and monitor their own emotional well-being. This is their job. It is not my job to fix you. It is not my job to make it right. I can be a support system. I can listen. I can walk through some of the most challenging seasons of your life with you. We all need a support system, but it is not my job to carry your cross. It's just not. My cross is heavy enough. And if I start carrying your cross, then now I'm carrying 2 crosses and you're not carrying any. When we know who we are, we can understand and say, I love you, I respect you, I honor you, but I cannot carry the lesson that is meant for you. Ooh, Lord, thank you for revelation. Sometimes we are trying to solve problems that God gave somebody else, and we're trying to figure out how to answer it for them. And when we do that, when we take on other people's emotions, then we stunt their growth. We stop them from developing that emotional maturity and then we stop them from having pride to get through it. If we're rescuing someone, we're carrying on their responsibilities, then we're stopping them from depending on their higher power. We're stopping them from developing their own emotional fortitude. It is not so when you choose to stop carrying other people's emotional luggage, it doesn't come from a place of you don't care, because you do care. It comes from the place of, I love you so much that I want you to grow through this. I love you so much and I respect you that I know inside of you is the person who can reach that plateau. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be walking alongside of you. I just can't carry it for you. Question number 6. I heard you talk about shifting, and I don't really know how that does. I don't know what that... You talk about shifting, Let's get to the end. What's one small shift I can make today to feel more grounded? One of the things you can do is just take a breath. Tell one truth. Walk in that one truth. Pause before you speak. Becoming more grounded isn't this elaborate process of deep conversation. Because I think when we say, well, I want to be grounded, we think that this elaborate process. Getting grounded just means that I'm going to settle in. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to think before I speak. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to choose not to respond in this moment because I'm angry or I'm sad and I'm hurt. So let me sit in it. I'm going to trust myself. I trust myself as one of the biggest revolutions we could have in this country, in the world. I trust myself. I believe that I make decisions out of the goodness of what's best for me. Because when I take care of me, when I know who I am, I'm the best version of everybody else. So grounding isn't dramatic. It's intentional. When you make a decision, I want to be grounded, I want to be more focused, it's an intentional act. And basically, that's what you're doing. You're making a choice to be intentional. How do I stop going back to the version of me I'm trying to outgrow? Let me just say this, and I mean this from my heart. Stop romanticizing the old person. Stop romanticizing that old person, that old relationship. There's a reason that relationship, that version of you didn't work. Happy Friday, Mommy. Thank you for joining me today. When we stop romanticizing that old version of you that you've outgrown, then we're you survived it. And you can take pride in the fact that you overcame these obstacles, these challenges. But stop romanticizing the struggle. So many of us have romanticized the struggle. I remember and there's nothing wrong with looking back with fondness and respect of what the journey has taught you. There's nothing wrong with looking back and seeing how far you've come. Those are all great things. But when we start romanticizing the struggle, it wasn't romantic when you was in it. It wasn't. At least it wasn't for me. When I was in that struggle, trying to birth a version of me that was still trying to deal with trauma and hurt and anger and didn't know who I was, and I was shaping and forming myself based on what others thought I should be versus myself. That shit wasn't cute. There's nothing romantic about it. That pain was real. I reminisce and have fond memories of taking care of my mama and my daddy until they died. But there's nothing romantic about it. I don't look back on that and go, no, that was some painful things that I went through. And I grew from it. So in order to stop going back to what was familiar, you have to, stop romanticizing. It wasn't that great. Remember the reason why you left. If it was so great, you'd still be that person. And when we outgrow things, I can honestly say this too. When we start outgrowing and becoming that, you cannot, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but you cannot hang with people who need you to be the old version of yourself. You can't. If your elevation often requires separation. When you're becoming a better version of yourself, not everybody is going to be able to go with you. So when you elevate, make sure that you're surrounded by a tribe of people who respect and appreciate and push the elevation. I'm blessed. I have an amazing tribe of friends. I have an amazing support system. I have some of y'all are on the chat with me live. Some of you will watch me later. I have an amazing group of people in my life who value my growth. I had people in my life who didn't value it. They're not in my life anymore. So when you are trying to stop going back to the old version of yourself, first of all, stop romanticizing that part of your life that you survived. You survived this, but let's move on. Start honoring the version of you that you are right now. and release those who are not on that journey with you. It's okay. You can release people with love, not anger, because you don't want to go back to the person you used to be. You need to stay in the now. Because the old you was necessary, but the new you is intentional. So the last question I have, because it's 7:24, is what is one truth I need to tell myself if I want to move forward? That one truth needs to be what you already know, because you know the truth. And I'm talking from my heart now. I know what I need to do to continue to move forward. I do. I know what decisions I need to make. I know what I need to release. I know what I need to work on. I know what areas in my life need more of my attention. I know what areas in my life need to be tilled, and the ground is fresh and it's ready to be tilled and to grow. But that's more work for me. And I'm already tired. I'm already fatigued. And here's another thing I got to do. So the truth I tell myself is, do you want this? Because you know what you know what needs to be done. You know you need to end that relationship. You know it. I ain't got to tell you. You know it. You know that job ain't for you. You know it. You know it. You know that spirit of entrepreneurship is in you. You know it. You know your health is suffering. You know you need to exercise. You know you need to lose some weight. You know it. The truth is in you. It's whether or not we want to see it for what it's worth. Are we ready to embrace the work that comes with it? Are we ready to take the responsibility? Because when you really are trying to grow and move forward, there is responsibility and accountability that comes with that. Are you ready for it? You know the truth. You know it. So today I would ask you, if you're looking for that, how do I make that one step to move forward? Say the truth out loud. Say it. And you ain't got to say it to me. You don't have to say it. Speak it. Get it out of your head and let it come out your mouth. Choose that one thing, say it out loud, then honor it. That's the shift. That's the becoming. That's the movement. Jump in the chat and let me know what you think about this Freestyle Friday. I want to thank you, whether you're watching me live or you're watching me later. First of all, keep the questions coming. I really want this to be more of an engaging, well, it's always engaging, but I really want you to know that this platform is not just me talking to you, but this is a platform of engagement. It's an opportunity for us to really come together, talk, create this safe space with clarity, peace, and communication. And I value you. Like, again, whether you watch me live or you watch me later, going on 4 years of this, 4 years. Who knew that what this would evolve into? And I give praises to God for that. And whether whom do you pray, I respect all forms of faith and belief. But my God has been good to me. He has seen me through many. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you who has walked through that journey with me. Let's keep rocking. Let's keep going. Let's keep building as we get ready to end year 4 and get ready to head into year 5 at the end of this year. God is good. And with that, I want to read from one of my books. This is one of my books that's available on Amazon. It's called Faithful with Your Few. Because a lot of times we get discouraged about our few. And I want to just read this briefly to you. Every step of the staircase of faithfulness brings us closer to the summit. Because the climb isn't about reaching the top. It's about who we become along the way. Humility is the posture that steadies us. Without it, the climb becomes dangerous. Pride makes us rush. Comparison makes us stumble. And entitlement makes us despise the few. But humility teaches us to honor every step, to see the grind as sacred, and to trust that the divine exalts and trust that the divine exalts those who remain faithful in the shadows. Honor is not earned by chasing recognition. It is given when we have proven ourselves steady, trustworthy, and resilient. The divine does not measure greatness by applause, but by the quiet strength of humility. And this is my last paragraph. Humility before honor means choosing patience over pride, service over spotlight, and faithfulness over fame. It means remembering that the few is not beneath us. They are shaping us. And when the divine lifts us higher, we will be ready, not because we demanded the honor, because we honored the climb. Faithful with our few. I'll put the Amazon link in here below. I want to give a quick love note. I want to give my Aunt Anita. We're getting ready to hit the road, so please pray for us. Travel mercies for us. I love hanging with my aunt. She's just amazing, and she knows I love her. I could do a whole soliloquy about what my Aunt Anita is to not just her daughter Kamika, but to her, to us as a family, to her brothers, to her sisters, to the community, what she's done with her sorority, with Delta Sigma Theta. She's just amazing, and I have the privilege and the honor to be her niece. So Anita, I love you. My last love note goes to, this is the shirt, the All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl. I gave my cousin I gave him a shout out earlier this week, or a couple of weeks ago, but we had the opportunity to go down to New Orleans, and I'm sharing this because this was really a great event. So if you have supported HBCUs in the past, I really want us to get together and figure out a way we can really promote this All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl. It was absolutely amazing. It was great, and I really hope that it becomes the way it's an annual thing, but maybe this can garner more support, because it was a wonderful event. I'm just going to put that out there. And the Sonic Boom of the South performed at halftime. It was a great show. It was a great game. So again, I'm going to put the link in below, but let's support the All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl. Go to New Orleans. It's a good time. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.